Hello everyone, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the last episode, before the most current episode of Ambitions. Y'all, I know I'm late, but I'm still gonna do it. So anyway, Amara is at work and Damien pulled up on her or whatever. He was talking about that he was gonna, help her to take down the mayor, and he just lying. Like, he's just trying to be colleagues with her. He don't want nothing really to do with her like that. He's just trying to work. And she halfway don't believe it either. And, I'm just like, girl, I hope you don't be dumb and try to fall for that. Anyway, Greg and Stephanie met up. Y'all know Greg Peters. He do the most. So she, popped up on him and gave him this, I'm about to say envelope, gave him this folder, and he was just like, okay, but what is this? I don't know what's going on here. And she was like, look, this is a rebranding strategy. You need it. You need to, do something else, because what's going on right now, people are seeing you as something negative. So yeah, you need to do something else. So he was just like, I don't understand. What am I going to be able to do? How am I going to be able to do that? And so she was like, look, you need to keep your nose clean and, kind of lay off of this one project that he has going on. I think it's called, what is it called? Oh my gosh. I was trying to think. I think it's called English Rose. Yeah, it's something that he's developing, and it's supposed to coincide with that airport concession somehow. But yeah, she was like, you need to keep your nose clean if you plan to really get that. You're not gonna get that concession if you don't keep your nose clean. So, she tried to leave, and he ain't trying to hear that because he's trying to get some more of that. This helper said the buffet was open. I was like, no. So he go in and try to kiss her and do some more things, and she was just like, nah. And she directed him downwards. And so he had to perform oral on her. So that's the way that went. Anyway, y'all, Bella came home, right? Her football boyfriend, Roderick, is leaned up against the side of the door, still toe down, because apparently he didn't go nowhere to get any kind of medical attention. And so she was like, are you okay? And, eventually he had to explain what happened, because he had got toe down by her, baby daddy and some more. Oh, Lord, y'all was so tired. So anyway, I was just so tired. He was beat down. He hardly can walk and stand up or anything else, y'all. So anyway, Amara asked her boss, can you please not pair Damien up with me with anything? Because, I'm here and I can do the things that you ask me to do and do them well without any help. And so she was just like, is there a problem I need to be aware of? Like, what's going on? And so she kind of tried, she was really about to let the cat out, like literally let the cat out the bag. Y'all, Damien popped up something terrible and was like, oh, we were amazing in the past together when we worked in Birmingham. So that's all. And she was just like, oh, okay, all right, I'm gonna leave now. I was like, oh my gosh, girl. So he had to tell her, do not destroy our future by bringing up the past. And I was like, girl, I'm sad he had to tell you that, but that's what it is, y'all. So anyway, at Thelma's place, the councilman is there and he doing the most, and I'm here for it. I like this man as an actor, y'all. I have seen him in so many things. I like him. But anyway, he's talking to Rondell, and he was like, look, I got this ticket for you to go to this summit. It's this women's summit. And so she already knew what it was supposed to be about, but she wasn't here for it because she feel like they all Hasidity, and they are. But he was like, I feel like you can learn some things from them. And so, she was kind of like, I don't know about all that. And so he was like, I really do feel like you really can learn some things about, from them, and it could help your cause. And so that's kind of the only reason why she agreed to it in the end. And so she was like, okay. And he said that he would basically take her. So she was like, oh, okay, for real now. Okay, cool. Y'all, so anyway, because she's trying to save the bank. So girl, do what you need to do. He basically was like, look, if you get in with these women and, you can get these women on your side and essentially that's saving the banks. So she's here for it and I'm here for it too. Y'all, Amara and Titus are at the house, and Titus is doing a little bit too much. I get it, but he doing a little bit too much. He gonna ask her, did you see Damien at work today? And I'm just like, they work together a lot of the time. Even though he's supposed to be going to another department, like I think they said narcotics, but they are going to end up working together a whole lot because the most is going on. And so, you know, he was like, look, you need to get rid of him. She was like, what you talking about? What you mean get rid of him? Like, he kept saying it needs to be over with, all that. And she was like, you know, ain't nothing going on. He was like, well, you need to quit. She was like, what you mean? What are you even trying to say? I'm not quitting my job. I was like, oh my gosh, are you doing the most? He was like, look, I just want you to myself, and I want him completely out of the picture. He was like, if you can't do it, I'm gonna find a way to do it myself. I was like, oh Lord, sir, you doing the most. So anyway, y'all, the mayor is on the phone lying to somebody about how he don't know what's going on with Roderick, because, you know, Roderick got on his platform when he was, you know, doing this show and exposed the mayor. And he was like, I don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe he was on some drugs or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all, Greg Peters is waiting on him outside, so he's finally able to be seen in. And he's like, okay, so what's going on? I need a guarantee that I really am gonna get this airport concession. And he was like, you know, it's in the bag. You ain't really gotta worry about all that. He was like, look, I ain't got time for this. I need to know what's really going on, because I don't want to sit up here and think I got something and I ain't got it. Y'all, Stephanie done rolled up. Keep in mind, this is the same day. This man just went up and now. He just went up and now. He just had relations with this man who is the mayor's wife. And she rolled up. And, you know, of course, since she's the wife, she can get, you know, escorted into the office. She got escorted into the office in the middle of their conversation. And so, you know, like, oh, what's going on here? And so he was like, look, I just need for everybody to be on the same page, because you telling me one thing and your husband telling me something else. So the husband is not really clued in on what's going on. So Greg leave. And so basically what is happening is Stephanie keeps promising that he definitely 100% is going to get the concession. As a part of the airport concession, that means that everything that's in the path of what he wants is what he's supposed to be getting, which is Thelma's place. That's gonna be one of the establishments. And so he's just like, nah, because, you know, Rondell is his sister and his daddy worked there too and all this other stuff. You know, he's retired, he's there. He doesn't want the family business to be gone. You know what I'm saying? And he knows how strongly his sister Rondell feels about that as well. It is one of the staples in the community. Y'all, that's where they keep disagreeing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So anyway, he told him, you know, do whatever you want with English Rose, but keep the project, as far as Thelma's is concerned, out of it. Y'all, it's too much. So anyway, it gets to a point where Stephanie brings up Beta New Electric, because, you know, I guess, I don't know why, everybody kind of try to make it seem like they don't know that everybody know everybody's business. And so she was like, Beta New Electric is coming, so, you know, you're going to have that project, so let this other stuff just go and let it happen. And, you know, that'll help you with your re-election for mayor. So, you know, whatever. You know, anything like that, that's going to perk somebody's ears up anyway. I was like, stop. So anyway, Bella and Stephanie are, you know, talking. And Bella is recreating a dress again for Stephanie, because, of course, Stephanie is going to go to that summit. And, you know, it got to a point where she, you know, of course, knows where she's going. And so Bella was like, you know, I was just wondering if there's a way that you could get me in. So she was like, oh, no, not this time, honey. This is definitely by invite. And, you know, I can't do anything as far as that's concerned, but maybe next year. I was like, oh gosh. Anyway, y'all, so Amara is talking to somebody on the phone. Now, apparently this is over the weekend. There ain't nobody even in the office. She done went to the office. She in the office, and she done called somebody at the Birmingham, Alabama office that she used to work in, trying to get background information on what's going on with Damien and as far as why he is there. And so, you know, trying to figure out why he transferred, what is going on with this transfer, like why he here. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. Y'all, her boss done rolled up, and so she looking at her like, what are you doing here? She was like, oh, well, I'm trying to, you know, follow up on some leads that I have with Roderick. And so her boss was like, oh, well, you know, I just had to come pick something up or whatever. So that's why I'm here. Y'all, Roderick has gotten suspended currently from his job. So I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, if it were me, I would have went on ahead and released that stuff, because I cannot stand how all these crooked people are in office and you have all this evidence. Go ahead and get him. A lot of time when you have evidence like that, especially when this person is looked upon as so powerful, oh, let that be the downfall. That ain't gonna do nothing but bring you up and put you at a level bigger than the level that you were on when you were playing football and then some, sir. But he's sitting up here holding on to this evidence, and I'm just like, why? Anyway, so she was like, he's suspended, but I haven't been able to track him down. He's not at home. I don't know where he is right now, but I'm working on that case because, of course, it all ties in with the mayor, and they're trying to figure out what all is going on outside of those deals that they were talking about before, where they were trying to see if people were skimming money. So anyway, she ended up asking Amara, was she going to that summit? And she was like, that ain't really my thing. And so she was like, yeah, I think you need to go. So of course, when your boss tells you that they think you need to go, that means, yeah, you need to go. So Stephanie is at home, and her soror, the one who she's been blackmailing, she stopped by, and old girl is not here for nothing. She was like, look, all I came by to do is to tell you that you are uninvited to this summit. I don't want you to be there. I don't want you to have no parts of this. You've been doing too much. And so, she basically reminded her of the dirt that she had on her. She was like, look, I ain't got time for this. Like, this is too much. And, she was just like, you're not going to be allowed. And she was like, yeah, anyway, myself and my daughter will be there. So get ready. I was like, oh gosh, girl, Stephanie don't care. She ain't got no couth. She has no couth. So anyway, y'all, the mayor is currently getting him some BDSM love and attention from the, what they call it, out of the, I don't know why I forgot her title, but she's the person who does the contracts and all that stuff. And she has her hands on the type of stuff dealing with that airport concession, right? And I forgot what her name is. I don't know why it starts with a D, but I forgot her name. Y'all let me know that in the comment section, because I know y'all be knowing these things, and I appreciate it. But Daphne, Darla, I don't remember what the woman's name is. I know it starts with a D for sure. Anyway, they are in the middle of, their little sessions, and so of course he likes the normal stuff that's happening. And she was like, I have a new toy. Y'all, had some kind of little toy, and it had all kinds of electrical stuff coming through it. So she's doing like this to him and got it eventually leading down to his penis. And before she got to that point, he was like, yeah, don't stop. Because he was really enjoying this electrocution. And before she pulled it out, I thought of claws. I said, watch it be something that electrocuted. But I didn't know if it was something like that. But yeah. And she was like, well, I could turn up the voltage. Y'all, it got to the point where, I was not rewinded. All I know was she said something about somebody having an attitude. And she was like, if I want to deal with somebody with an attitude, I'll go home to my husband. And she told him that that's what he need to do, is go home to his wife or whatever if somebody got an attitude. Y'all, she got fed up with him. Very frustrated to the point of where she left him ball gagged and handcuffed and walked out of the room. She left him. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, y'all, so the night of the summit is upon us. And what's her name? Amara. Amara tried to play nice with Stephanie's mama. Y'all, she was like, yeah. She was like, do you remember that day when I met you, when we met out on Lake Lanier or wherever she said it was? She was like, yeah, I remember that day like it was yesterday. That was the day that you stole Stephanie's boyfriend away from her. Of course, that's Titus. And so I was like, ooh, Lord have mercy, ma'am, you ain't have to do all of this. But yeah, they crossed paths and it was terrible. So Stephanie and Amara eventually crossed paths, and it's nice, nasty. And Rondell actually rolled up on Amara, and she was like, it's just good to see a friendly face. And she was like, what do you think about it so far? She was kind of looking at her like, And she was like, well, it makes it a lot better to have something to drink. So they were having drinks all throughout the night. Y'all, I cannot. So it was crazy because when Stephanie was done talking to Amara, she immediately goes on and gets on to Rondell's case because her soror, the woman who she's blackmailing, came up to. She was like, all of us are sorors, but you never went to college, did you, Rondell? You never went to college. And I was just like, why is you reading this woman because she didn't go to college? And I mean, just because you go to college don't mean you got to get into anybody's sorority or fraternity, because I know I wanted to, but then it's just too much going on with all of that, and I'm not getting involved. I told y'all before about some of the things that I've encountered, and it is way too much. Some of y'all be doing the most just to say you're a part of this stuff, to wear the paraphernalia and to go to these parties. It is not that deep. I'm sorry, it's not. But anyway, she tried to read her because she didn't go to college and because she's not a soror. I'm just like, girl, so what? She's not. And I mean, she had to, and then Rondell had to read her back. And she was like, yeah, I didn't go to college because I was too busy working to put your husband through college. And look where he is now. He's the man. I was like, you better read. She read. But anyway, Bella is at the house, right? And she's trying to make some connections because she knows that the summit is going on. And she's like calling people and leaving messages. She was like, okay, oh yes. I was just wondering if since there are people who are wearing items that I have made at the summit, I was just wondering if there's any kind of way that you could allow me to use those photographs and post them on Instagram to promote myself. I really appreciate if you get back to me. Like, she was doing a lot, and then Roderick is there beat up and toe down, and she's trying to nurse him back to health, and I was like, okay, whatever. So anyway, he actually ended up showing her the video of what happened, and so she was like, look, we could use this to our advantage. He was like, nah, when I go back to work, I'm gonna play it at work for everybody to see. Everybody needs to see this. And so, at first she was like, well, okay, whatever. So we'll see what happened with that. Stephanie's daughter, and I think her name is Carly, and the girl who she's with, who is the Purefoy's daughter, her name is Lori. They're talking, right? And they are at the actual function, right? Tell me why the Purefoy's daughter, Lori, she was going around the room like asking her, who would you date? Would you be with this person? So she was like, would you date her? Or would you date that, woman? And then to describe her aunt, which was Rondell, she was like, first of all, that's my aunt. I was like, oh God. Because I was like, no, when she said that, because I was like, oh gosh, no. But yeah, they ended up, having a moment, and then her mama came up, and she was like, keep doing whatever you're doing to get information out of her, meaning, Stephanie's daughter. And, I feel like they genuinely like each other. If they don't, that girl been really fooling me this whole season if she really don't like her. So anyway, Rondell and Stephanie's mama had some words about the Banks. And I cannot, it is a lot. The girls, meaning Carly and Lori, they went into the bathroom and they started kind of making out a little bit, and they had their moment. Y'all, it's funny because while they in the bathroom having their little moment, Stephanie is out and about and trying to, walk around and work the crowd. Her soror walks up on her and spills red wine on her dress. And her dress was white as snow. And so she was like, oh, I'm just so sorry. It's a shame, are you gonna have to go home? Y'all, she did the most. She did that because she knew she probably was gonna leave and go home because that dress was messed all the way up. She was like, it'd be a shame. You might have to go home and, get out of that and change. Y'all, she didn't do that. She went to the bathroom to get cleaned up. Try to get cleaned up. And of course, that's when the daughters both came out of the stall at the same time, and she was just looking like. So the Pure Ford daughter left, and so she was talking to her daughter, and she was like, "It's not what you look. It's not what you think. It's not what it looks like." And she was like, "I do not care if you like girls. I don't care what your sexual preference is, as long as you don't like this person." Because it was crazy, because while she was saying all this, the first part of it, Carly was so shook that her mama was trying to make it seem as though she did not have a problem with her sexuality. And then the rest of it came into play. And she was just like, "No, I love her. We love one another. I really like her." And she was just like, "Nah." It was a lie. But yeah, Stephanie ended up rolling all the way up on the girl, right? She left out of the bathroom and ran to her mama. Before she ran to her mama, she rolled up on Lori and, tried to tell her to stay away from her daughter. Y'all, tell me why. Why did Lori say, "Don't be mad at me because I've given your daughter more orgasms than in what she said, a couple of months than your husband has since that y'all been married"? Man, Stephanie slapped the fire. Slapped the fire. It slapped the soul out of Lori. I was like, "Oh my gosh." And of course, as soon as she slapped her, that is when her daughter rose up and was like, "Mama." I was like, "Oh my gosh, no." She slapped the fire out of that girl. But anyway, y'all, so moving right along. Y'all, I was dying. I couldn't. So anyway, Roderick got fired, y'all. And so it done got to the point where his manager done called him, was like, "Yeah, you been fired." So Bella is sitting up there really trying to convince him to let, for him to use the footage to their advantage. And I was just like, "Girl, stop." Anyway, y'all, I live because they played this Sam Cooke song that I love. I think it's called "Lovable." I live for that song. But anyway, they did that. But the reason why it's funny is because they played that song while they kept scanning the room. They had Stephanie, she ordered like a martini from the bar, and she was just standing at this table by herself. And all of these women throughout the room who do not like her at all were all looking at her like, ugh, like it was bad. Amara was looking at her sideways. The Pure Foy daughter was looking at her sideways. The Pure Foy mama was looking at her sideways. Rondell was looking at her sideways. Her daughter, I think, might have been looking at, like, it was like several women looking at her. Like, if you could throw daggers with your eyes, that's what was happening in that moment. Y'all, it was bad. So she really needed that drink, and they rushed the drink over to her, and she got the drink. It was like, oh my gosh, y'all, it was so terrible. Y'all, so she ended up guzzling her martini. I was like, "Ma'am, that's not what you do. You're doing the most." But anyway, yeah, it was hilarious to me. But like I said, the fact that they had that song "Lovable" playing as they scanned the room and had all those women who hate her, it was hilarious. Okay, y'all. Anyway, so Bella thought she was smart. She called the mayor over to her house, trying to make it seem like their son, Joaquin, needs him. And so he done walked in. He was like, "Joaquin, buddy, I'm here." And so it got to the point where she was like, "Yeah, he ain't here." Y'all, when I tell you I got confused, I was just like, "Girl, what in the world?" I think it was all a plan to make Roderick think one thing was happening when it wasn't. So she made it seem like he brought him over there to trick him into thinking like, "Oh, we got all this footage and we've made copies. You need to give us $750,000 and whatever." And I was just like, "What?" Or in exchange for it, right? She wants that and the airport concession. Okay, whatever. Y'all, I'll get to the rest in a minute. Rondell stopped by the restaurant for a minute because she had some cards. She needed her credit cards or something, and she left all her stuff in order to pay for whatever at the house. Well, at the restaurant, which is the same difference because I think it's all added on. She done went over to the house part, and so she heard her daddy like screaming, hollering or something Which I was like, the way he was doing it, I was like, that ain't the kind of, noises that I would be concerned about necessarily. She done bust up in the room with her daddy having sex with this woman. And I was so tired. He was like, can a man have some privacy in his own room? She slammed the door. And then the next thing we know, the woman who was in the bed with him was calling his name, but then started calling for Rondell. I was like, why is she calling her? And then the woman had to come to the door, come out the door, was like, something wrong with Senior. Yo, this man over here done had a half of a stroke. He done had a mini stroke on him. And come to find out, he's supposed to be taking high blood pressure medication. He done stopped taking it because that particular brand of it, or whatever it is affecting his libido, and he cannot get it up, I guess, or whatever. He can't do what he needs to do when it comes time for sexy time, Mr. Sexy Time and things. Y'all, anyway, they had to carry this man out on a stretcher, and yeah, it was bad. So after he was fine and he was back at the house, that woman told him straight up, until you take that medicine, don't call me, but don't make me wait too long. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then of course, Rondell, who's always around him, she had to have a conversation with him, which is very uncomfortable, and he felt embarrassed. And he was just like, I can't believe I got to have this conversation with my daughter. And I neglected to mention, y'all, earlier in the episode, I think I might be getting ahead of myself. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the next episode. I'm about to say, I don't remember this part. But anyway, having to talk to him about that's crazy. Like, you gotta take the medicine, but apparently the kind they gave him this time, it's not supposed to mess with him like that. It's still supposed to work as far as high blood pressure medication goes. He already had high blood pressure medication, but he stopped taking it because it was that situation that was going on. But yeah, y'all, it's a lot. Y'all, tell me why Amara is at the house and she's telling Titus about everything that has happened at this summit. And, trying to figure out how everybody's connected, because she was seeing a lot of stuff happening from afar. But she didn't know what it was, so she's really trying to figure out how it's all connecting. Y'all, of course, why did I not know this? This fool Damien done set up cameras all throughout their house, so whenever they're doing anything and anything is going on, he is sitting there watching it. And he was propped up eating it and watching stuff right then and there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot. Like, he really is doing the most. He's really watching every single move like he's a stalker. Y'all, so the last thing that happened is Stephanie was talking to her daughter. And, they were currently at the house after everything happened. And so she's talking to her. She was like, look, I don't have a problem with your sexuality. Just anybody but her. Y'all. And she was like, look, Mama, do what I want to do. I love her. I want to be with her. So she was like, if you do that, you would have to not be under this roof. She was like, well, I'll just move out. I won't be under this roof. Y'all, and like, while she's talking to her the whole time, she's like coughing. And when she coughed that first time, I was like, then she coughed again. I was like, oh, this heifer got poisoned. And then she kept on coughing, y'all. Tell me why, after she had her little spat with her daughter, soon as she turned her back and left the room, this heifer collapsed. So that's what happened. That was the end of that, y'all. I hope y'all have a good one. She has been poisoned, and it's crazy. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.